Last night, sitting here looking over the city of Sempamaru, the Relic Hunter city. I'm doing this for a reason. I built this palace here, just opposite of this, and the idea was it was supposed to be this view of the palace was supposed to look so majestic if you were coming from the city, which is kind of funny because in like every other angle of this thing looks kind of meh. But anyway, a little backstory here. We've been playing on this server for a little over a year. We've been very active. Me and Roz are both admins. We have both an Exiled Lands and an Isle of Sipta server. We revamped them a few months back, and one of the things was we wanted to be like a light RP thing going on with this. So again, I'm doing this in first-person mode so I can do some slower camera scrolls, hopefully not make anybody dizzy. I hate playing in first person, but I think this is the best way to do this. So yeah, the server's going down. There just hasn't been anybody on. We've tried creating events and stuff. Nobody's taken part in them. I got sidetracked. So the way the server was, we decided that the admins, we'd break into two teams. Half of them basically would be gods, and we'd pick various deities from the Conan lore, which all come from actual historical deities. So, like for me, I ended up with Ishtar. I use both from the Conan stories as well as Babylonian mythology for how I portrayed the character of Ishtar. And then Roz, instead of being another god, was a ruler, and so she was the ruler of the lands that I was the god over. So we tried to do a lot to get the server going, and it just never took off. So it's going down, and the lady who runs it is just like, I'm done. I don't want to extend this anymore. I don't want to waste the money on it. So we tore down basically everything we built, and then I said, I want to do one final build. And my thought was, well, since Sempamaru is in my area, if I were to make it like a castle for Sempamaru where I would rule from, how would I go about that? Because I can show you another build I did here for my character. It's a tree house. It's kind of cool. So, but anyway, for this, I started making the this palace, and I realized, well, the server's going down. This is basically going to be my tomb, so let's go all in. So this here is the tomb or palace of Ishtar, sitting right between Sempamaru and over by the oasis of Niket, so it's got a great view. And we're going to bring it in here. We've got the rocks behind us right now. Looks like the sun might actually be going down, so it might go into night. So there it is from, if you were coming from Sempamaru, how you would see this thing on the horizon. Now you can see I am playing in creative mode, so I can get up and fly and everything, and my health bar's on the way. So normally I would have a way to get up here aside from climbing. I decided to axe that since, again, it's ultimately a tomb. Didn't really need it, so I created a teleport pad. We're not going to use it right now. So we're discussing throwing a party, so we figured we could put a teleporter out somewhere, and people could teleport in. So of course the teleporters give you massive corruption, so I've got some dancers set up. I don't think the party's going to happen. But you can see the oasis over here, which is, we love building up the oasis. Mostly for the music. It's got some of the greatest music in the game here. So say you teleported in from another part of the world, as opposed to walking from Sempamaru, this would be what you would see. Quite the imposing figure, and that's what I was going for. Nice and relaxing. You can see the other areas out here. I got this whole massive thing built and realized there was no kitchen, so this little addition here is my kitchen. Big ass castle, tiny little kitchen. But I made this walkway to overlook the city, and I decided to put some of these statues, some of the various deity statues, as well as all the serpent men are here, including the devolved serpent men, leading up to the King's Scourge. That is the bedroom up there that you can see from this main room. And of course, the big thing is the city of Sempamaru being right there. Part of this, I wanted this view so I could see it at night. Since the sun is going down, we will take a walk out here once it goes down. And you can see the city all lit up. It's gorgeous. So let's go ahead and get on inside this thing. Open my big double gates. And this here is the Great Hall. You can see I used a lot of skylights. I love building with these things. Try to come up with these crazy patterns. Just something insane. Make something like you've never really seen before. So we set it up for a banquet, for our end of the world banquet. Even how I have my character dressed, it was a conversation me and Roz had. There's the stairs leading up to the bedroom. I got double doors going up to that. I've got all these fountains. I figured it's built over an oasis. I gotta have a bunch of fountains around here. So we had all the fountains walking up here. We've got all of them on each side here. So we set up a banquet for our big end-of-the-world party that will, of course, never actually take place. So back here is my tiny-ass little kitchen. You can see I have a lot of the DLC, the Battle Pass items. I have sunk way too much time and money into this game, honestly. So the server might be going down, but of course I'll still be playing. I have my own game going in offline mode where I just basically go around and build various houses. I love trying to build like small houses and see what I can do with them. So this was a real big stretch. I'm like the king of tiny house building in this game, and here I come and I end up making this big palace. This is like my first massive build. So I've got 3 places I can go. This is the workshop over here. Off that way leads to a library. And off this way, of course, is the bedroom. Now the workshop and the library actually loop around and meet. So if you go into the workshop, you can see this is where I have all of the forge equipment. Saddler's tables, armorer, blacksmith, all that. It goes, of course, upstairs. There's a space back here, but I never did anything with it. This is honestly such a cool build, I figured I gotta live stream it just to preserve it. So you come up here to the 2nd floor, you have more of the storage area, the furnaces, more benches. The storage is all like back here underneath. I've got another bench back here above the gate. And then all of my storage. So when it comes up to where the rooms meet, we go up here. I came up with the funkiest design for a roof for this, but I think it turned out really good. You come through here and it leads to our map room. Now there's not a lot of headspace in this map room. There's a reason for that. Basically I wanted the map on a giant pedestal, and this is the only way to get it. Underneath the stairs is where all the lights are. But as you come over it, you can see there that Senpamaru at night through the archways. We have an elevator that goes up to the 2nd workhouse, which is all the alchemy and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and drop back down here. And you can get a good look at this at night. So again, my character, me and Roz were having the conversation of what does one wear to the end of the world. So we dressed our characters for our end of the world party. But I just love the way that city looks at night. And also the way my palace turned out looking with all these different torches and stuff. I love the way that center area looks. So you saw the workhouse. It's all like your construction, your smithing and all that. There goes the moon. Up top is where I have all my alchemy, sorcery. I wanted them in separate places. But anyway, we'll go back through here and we'll go through the library side next. Because I have, although I didn't put a bunch of servants in here, why spawn a bunch of guys in just to die soon after. I did put 2 because I needed, this area didn't quite line up, so I had to come up with a funky wall. So I had a spot, so I put an archer up there. Thought it was a good place for an archer. And I ended up spawning 2 archers in. I decided to use them both. So the 2nd one, much like I have that hidden storage area up here that you saw with that extra workbench, I did the same over here. Going into my library. And there's an archer up top. So if there were invaders, I could open that and the archer's up there to fire down on them. So this library, I have all these bookshelves. It's from a Hidden Doors set. So I've tried to use them to make libraries before, so these are all doors. Now you can actually squeeze some storage boxes in between these, but they stick out. It doesn't look very good. So you can technically walk through these, but for the purposes of this, it's just aesthetics. It's just supposed to be a library. We have this going up to the 2nd floor, of course. I have a nice little reading nook back here. I just love this. So here you'll see my end of the world outfit. There is Ishtar, the goddess of war. In all her glory, I guess. Funny thing is, Roz will usually put her characters in skimpy outfits, and I usually don't. So I was really going out of character for myself with that, my final outfit, but I figured might as well try and make it look kind of fancy and sort of thing like that. So we go up the staircase, and here is more of our library, a bigger reading room. We figure it should have a coffee bar. So we have coffee, tea, an ice side and a hot side. Got a little chair back here that one could sit in. Boy, that outfit does not look good sitting in that chair. So here's my other archer, you can see. You can get down from up here. You actually, my character bumps their head, but if I duck down, I can actually roll through that. But that's not what we're going to do here. So I threw in a few more of these hidden bookcase doors. And then there's like another little reading area back here that's on the floor with all of these pillows and such. So this, not the fanciest library I've done, but I like it. I did a big, massive one where all the walls, the outside walls were all door frames, so that it was just filled with bookcases. And then the joke was, you know, there's a door everywhere in this library if you know where to look. Alright, so we're going to go back through here, up across our map room, and then to our elevator that will lead us up to where the magic happens, quite literally. So I locked this off, since anybody can get into that map room. And here's my sort of alchemy and sorcery chamber. You can see I overthrew my my shrine up here for Derketo. I put my thrones up here. This is where I plan to wait out the end of the world. I figured that or the bedroom, but I think it'd be more fun to log out from there. We've got a set of war drums. These things are pretty cool. Jesus, animation lasts forever. Unless you cut it off. I've got these Aquilonian seating here. Here's my summoning circle. So, since this is all obviously sorcery, and then this other side is my golem stations, we'll get to that. And in the very back is alchemy. I wanted a natural progression between them because the stuff looks so different. So I decided, well, if I'm having an alchemy lab up this high, I need a massive indoor garden. So I created this indoor garden to be the buffer zone. I added a harp back here. I figure I got the drums on the other side, let's put a harp over here. And that leads into our alchemy lab. The idea here too was with the burial mound and the sacrificial altar. I wasn't sure how to incorporate these into here, but this worked good next to the altar, with Derketo being a goddess of both debauchery and death. And then this having the big dirt mound leading over to into my indoor garden. So got some beehives. Yeah, I planted all this crap just so it could eventually be phased out of existence. I also put my coffer up here. I don't think there's anything in there. I don't remember. No. Oh, excuse me if you heard that. So I've got this big... I love this alchemy bench. It's my favorite. And then I've got little storage boxes over here, which leads over to my golem station for building my... You know, I'm a huge fan of the Frankenstein movies, especially with Peter Cushing. One thing we did was we created secondary accounts so we could have villain characters. And mine, since we were joking, we made all of them stoner names. Mine's Peter Cushing, but it's Kushing. And I basically made him Frankenstein. That's actually not too far from here. I built in the same area. I built like an observatory. So I have like a whole Frankenstein's workshop we can check out at the end of this if you want as well. Of course, more storage containers, another bookshelf, cabinet. So, yeah, this is where I'm going to wait out the end of the world. I am very proud of this. I just kind of got on, started building. I had this kind of a rough idea, but not quite. I wanted this view, you know, and originally I was going to do it more square, and it ended up, I love making towers. But I realized when I started building it, it's like, oh, this will work better as a spiral. And then when I started building out, I was like, oh, I can do like the bedroom off on this other little plateau here. And it just kind of took its own shape. And that's honestly where some of the best builds come in. Anyway, we're going to go check out Obviously, I have my throne here for the banquet room. I love going in behind here, and you can like look at your character's eyeballs and teeth if you get the right angle. I don't know if it'll do it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, like why is there like an iris and a pupil on the backside? It's so creepy. Look at the teeth. It's just disturbing. Throne might be a little big. Usually I use the Atlantean throne, which I believe is even bigger, so we'll go over here. You get stuck back there, but we weren't sure how we want to do this in real life. We said, let's set it up like it's a banquet, because we threw like the Thanksgiving the 1 year, actually 2 years, and we did a Christmas party, and we did that Halloween party where I even DJ'd it, recorded, and then DJ said, you can see how there's like gaps up here, but nobody could get through that. So it is not a perfect one-to-one, but it is all closed off. So we never finished the bedroom, honestly. You come in here, it's the main chamber, which would be like a living room. We consider possibly doing like a bathroom in here as well. Roz has all the stuff for like the bathhouses and stuff. That's a set that I don't have. There's a few sets that one of us will have that the other one doesn't. Oh, there's the city through the glass. So that's what she has and I don't, so there's nothing I could do. So all I really did was put a bed down, or the double beds, and an orb. There's Roz's character asleep. And sometimes we'll do the double bed like that, or we'll do like one big one and we'll put a small one down. There's a specific one that looks kind of like a couch. So put that in a corner for like one of our, and that can be our other spawn point. Oh yeah, Roz loves these windows. I'm not the biggest fan. Let's see if I can make him shut. We both love the Tyrannian stuff, but yeah, she loves those windows, and I like the ones up top like that, the more closed ones. But I wanted to incorporate what we both like really in this, so I tried to do this whole row I thought would look cool like this, with that great view of the city, and then you get it at night again if it gets too dark. And it gives it this whole sort of mushroom look from the outside. Should probably get out here and finish decorating before everything comes down. We got a bar set up. I believe my original house I built over here might still be standing. So originally Roz had built like right in this area. And I had built a yurt right over here. Okay, oh, no, my yurt is still standing. I will show you the yurt. The idea was I could watch over her people who were over there. But then since I was in the admin clan as well, this is the house for when I was doing stuff with her, and then I had a separate house for the admin stuff. But I ended up transferring into her clan to help her build stuff, and then nobody else ever got back on, so I ended up just being like there permanently. So we did this. We'll just drop down. I did this so it looked like a dock. We did this for a summer building challenge we did, but only one other person participated. This was our example of like a summer hangout. So we came up with this dock, this little beach dock, over the going to the oasis, the big island in the middle. I set the tent up with these supposed to be like beach blankets. There's my actual house, this yurt. Apparently the doors are stuck open. So you can see like here's a changing area. And then Roz had put in the bathtub to be used as like a spa, like a big hot tub. I think it looks funny when you do the salt pose in here. Like you're deep in thought or something. So here's my little yurt that I built. You can see I try to make a small space do a lot. And then I used one of these for a back door. I had to have some kind of animal in here, so I just did a taxidermy wolf. I somehow removed the armor from that. It was just the same as this one, though. I was giving these away free, like that's what my followers would wear. So we also built this big tree house. When we started tearing everything down, we decided to start doing a new build. I just kind of jokingly, because I like building tree houses, almost as much as like doing like wizards towers. So I started doing this tree house. I completely forgot about it. But a lot of the times this tree doesn't want to spawn in, so it looks like the tree house is just like this floating house. And I'm just imagining some new person playing the game, walking here, and the tree doesn't spawn in, and be like, How the hell did they build a flying house? We're doing this, the flying house, and the elevator is like the anchor. So we did get this one fully decorated. It turned out quite nicely. I don't usually build directly in the top of a tree, but it just worked out. I love these tiny stairs. They're like half outside though, but hey, it works. Death stairs are functional. So you've got the bedroom up in this one. A little bit nicer looking, because we actually bothered to decorate. And then it goes up. I love, if I can't do pointed rooftop, I like to do rooftop gardens. So we did that up here, or that was the plan anyway. Never quite got finished before I started working on the other one. So let's go see the, you can see my, my yurt down there. But I will take you to the Frankenstein Observatory. A lot of times when I build the Oasis, I like to build over this one. But I did this over at a place that's actually called Oasis Overlook. It's right up there. There is no way to, like, what you have to climb up there or be an admin and be able to fly up there. But, we'll let that spawn in. He's got an entire army of golems up there. There we go. That was kind of cool, because I did the, excuse me. I did the round part, and then Roz did the other part. And the round part was designed to be the main work area. Again, I wanted to make it kind of like an observatory. We're going to do this. So here's actually their horses. I made them a little barn down here. A joint affair. Again, we needed some kind of a stoner reference for it. So the way you'd get up here is you'd have to climb up all these rocks and do this. Or what we would just do is, you know, if I can borrow from the Riverworld series, we'd ride the Suicide Express. We'd just kill our characters off and spawn back at our bed. I'm not going to phase through the doors. I just don't want to. So we were never finished building this. I got the main observatory tier 3, but the rest of it's still tiers 1 and 2. Obviously there's no point in completing it. I did have a tent sitting up here that made it look more rounded on top, but it stuck through to the bottom, and because of that it was hard to work with stuff here because you had these pieces of the tent coming through. So, but this is the Frankenstein workshop. Obviously I got the golem station in the middle. And you can see I used the crystal golems, the blood crystal golem stuff in the Ishtar's tomb. Here it's the more normal, the regular ones. It just fit the style of the characters better, you know? But you can see he's got all these golems built and ready to go. My whole thing was I was going to say he was planning to try and destroy the city of Senpamaru, and we were going to have a big battle where it was like our villains sieging the city, where we have the hero characters trying to stop them. Sad that never planned out. So Ishtar's original residence is just over here in the Crown's Grove. It's another tree house, of course, but it's actually right here. I gotta let it spawn in. But I'm actually really proud of this one. There is another one of those hidden bookcase rooms, and it just leads to a bedroom. That I might actually face. So I put a little station out here, because this is a hard area to get through for even a medium level character. So you have water, of course, readily available, and then I put this out, blessings from the gods. It's all like healing potions, water, stuff like that. I built another one of these over near the unnamed city in a spot that's kind of dead. It's this big pagoda, and part of that was mostly for sandstorms. It was a public sandstorm shelter. So for this place, yeah, you can see it's just kind of built out. This one is more of an actual treehouse than the last one was. This is like the first thing I built here. So I put this gong up here so people could ring the bell. And this is another one of these hidden doors, but it's a wardrobe. It's a double door. I just wanted a double door, and I didn't have the storm glass set when I started working on this. This is like, oh, this is the only double door I could do. Then the storm glass double door set came out. So that's cool, but I just left this. This one's funny because it's technically 2 sets of doors, like on the inside and outside. So if you can open and close it, which obviously I can't right now, you can actually get stuck inside this one. But I made this so it was also, you could left the door open so people could come in here and use the crafting stations. So if they have materials they needed to make potions or something, or touch up their armor, this is a safe spot they'd be able to do that in. But it was also designed to be my house. So here's my kitchen. And it's got just about everything you could use. Small kiln for a furnace. So, yeah. You come around this way. So back here would be the bedroom, which is closed off. I will go ahead and actually phase through that. I don't care if I'm in God mode or not. It's not really important right now. I don't use that as much as you might think. Oh, my war paint is like blending in with my armor. That's weird. Okay, so yeah. So for this, I wanted to show, like, I like doing alchemy and stuff. I've got the orb in there to change my character's appearance if I wanted to. Some food, a bed. You can hear my my wind chimes. I did a fancy roof up in here. And then if you go around the bed, which you have to go over it, there's storage back here. Surprising amount of storage for back in here. I love those wind chimes. That was a great addition to things. So I guess I might as well show off the pagoda while I'm here. Because it's right over here. Oh crap, no. It's not too far. I have perfected how to do gypsy wagons. That was something me and Roz worked on for a long time, was making a convincible gypsy wagon. But it was also like the ultimate, let's do a tiny house build, because you need to make it look like a gypsy wagon. So we determined the best size was like 3x5. And what can you do with a space like that? We come up with some really cool stuff. We have done some. We started adding like wheel wells to the side to get a little extra room, which made a huge difference to them, and stuff like that. So I'd make a gypsy wagon, and we've learned to build them. So we build them on like one foundation in the middle, and everything's built off of it, so it looks like it's perched up on the wheels. But then when we want to take it down, if we don't mind everything just disintegrating, which playing in admin mode here I don't, I just pull up the middle block and the whole thing just disintegrates. So I had a gypsy wagon. I was moving around everywhere in the game. There's my pagoda. I would just move this thing around, and then people could do tasks for me to earn rewards and stuff, which was kind of cool. So yes, this is the pagoda. I just want to create something out here. Again, it was mostly to be a public sandstorm shelter, but again, this is such a desolate area. But you've got the obelisk over there, got the unnamed city there. There's a world boss right there. There's the one big dungeon back there. Sempermaru's back right over there. But there's nothing in this spot, and if you get trapped in a sandstorm here or something, it can be the end of you. So I did this to be a public sandstorm shelter. The top looks funky. I couldn't quite close it off the way I wanted, so I kind of had to do it this way. But I wanted to make it look like sort of a big flower. And you just got like a big shot of cleavage. But I think it worked pretty good, making it look like a giant flower of some kind in the middle of the desert. Doors all over for easy entrance. And it looks like it's kind of this big bar and hangout. You can hear I have dancers. You don't see them. The side facing towards the south, I believe it is, yep, has all cold food and drink that people can come and take to get them through the hotter areas. And then over here, going north, I have the hot stuff for heading north into the mountains. But you obviously want some like cold stuff because you're going to hit the volcano too. So there's my skylight in this one. So you can see I put a balcony up here that's not accessible to anyone, and that's where my dancers are. They're not up here to be guards or anything. They're just here. You can come in here and get your corruption cleansed. And then I did put a market stall in here with a bartender. So Erin, the drink glass. Erin is Roz's sister, who, from what she's told me, was quite the drinker. So we jokingly named her Erin the drink glass. I don't know why she's facing backwards. And we basically made a bartender. Well, what do you say we head on back over towards the Relic Hunter City and head back on out back towards home. There are so many areas over here, but it's such a no-build zone. Like, I wanted to build off of this thing, and you can't build till you're like right around here, but it goes at a weird angle, so some spots you can't build. So it just wasn't feasible. I always thought it'd be cool if you could build over this archway, but it's also technically part of Sempamaru, so you can't. So my first choice, there's a spot over on this way far end. Okay, so if you go out back past here, you can kind of actually build back here between the ghost fence and the city. But it wouldn't have looked right. There's all the dunes. Then we discussed about right here, because you can build fairly close. You can start like right in the spot and it's fairly flat, and then you have like this natural walkway sort of going down into the city. The prison's right there. So we considered building it. Oops. Right up here, but ultimately I decided I like that spot better. I like the way that looks over there on the horizon. You can see the bedroom does have that sort of mushroom shape to it. So I've only got about 5 minutes before the server goes into reset mode, so that's actually really good. It's getting dark again in the game too. So, but here it is. If you were living in Sempamaru and you wanted to come pay your respects to Ishtar, this would be the path you would take. Look at the sun going down. And that would be looming over you the entire time. And it's just such a gorgeous sight. But the other side of it just looks so terrible because of how I designed it. But from this view, which I wanted, and the inside, I think looks incredible. I will get a shot of it from the other side, though. But that would be you walking up from Sempamaru if you were coming. Though there wouldn't be any way up there but to climb. So, but yeah, if you look at it from the other side, it's kind of goofy. Doesn't look like much. But I was thinking, you know, the castle, the Cinderella castle, the actual one in Germany they based it off of. Germany, Austria, whichever it is. You see it from the front because you're so used to seeing the Cinderella castle. You're like, oh man, that looks incredible. And if you see it from any other angle, you're kind of like, oh, it's big and impressive, but it doesn't quite have that same majesty as looking at that dead-on shot. That is the Disney logo now. So, I love that it's actually going back into night as we're ending this with our nice little flyby. So I just want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to get out of here before the server shuts down. And thanks again for watching if you watched this whole thing, and I hope you have a great night.